children. And it is a good morning. The moment of transformation is upon us. Tonight is the night. The end of ends. We've always known what we have to do, but we didn't know where to do it until now.
This place, it's so retro. Besides, this is our last chance. Tomorrow they're tearing this place down. My dorks, now it's a party.
Sorry, Bruce.
Welcome to Terrace Lanes. Pain it is.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Happy end of the weekend Sunday to ya. I'm your host, John Roycelyn, and welcome to another episode of the Witching Hour podcast. On air is on. Neon Witch is flying, which means it can be only time for another episode of the Witching Hour podcast. We are here tonight. I'm here to give you my 2 cents, and of course, you're probably going to want half of it back. For a film that came out this past January, it was released to Amazon Prime, I believe. At first, we are talking about Last Night at Terrace Lanes. I'm actually really happy to talk about this film, as it stars one of my personal friends, Mr. Ken Arnold. The film is directed by completely froze up right there. The film is directed by Jamie Nash and is written by Adam Caesar. If you're not familiar with Adam's work, you should definitely look into him, especially if you are a reader. The man has some very impressive books out. Again, written by Jamie Nash, directed, by Jamie Nash, who has brought segments from VHS2. He had his hands in Satanic Hispanics, of course, Comedy of Horrors, as well as The Night Watchman, both of which had Ken Arnold in it, as well as a segment from Satanic Hispanics, which I will mention later on during the film review. The synopsis of the film is a group of sadistic cult killers called mathletes. They are on a mission to save themselves from doom on doomsday. And there is an exact time and location that they must sacrifice to save themselves. Well, this exact time and exact location just happens to be closing night of Terrace Lanes, a bowling alley that is ran by, but upkeep, maintenance, customer service by Bruce, played by Ken Arnold. And I've got to tell you, Ken, this is like one of my favorite roles that you did. It really is. You really had the character down pat. Bruce's daughter, Kennedy, who is played by Francesca Capaldi, shows up with a small group of friends. It is his estranged daughter, unfortunately. She sees him there, immediately texts him, "You don't know me. Stay away," kind of a thing. This obviously hurts the man's pride because it's his little girl. You find out a little bit more about that as the story goes on. Now, here's my favorite part. One of Kennedy's friends is played by Ken's son, Elias Arnold. He plays Cody. Cody, his character is that pretty much of the average teenage boy whose neck you want to wring more than once. He plays the modernized Eddie Haskell almost, if you want. He's an asshole. Okay, so with that being said, it was kind of neat on scene because there actually is a small scene where Cody obviously still does not realize that this is his friend's father, is in there acting up, making a mess, and there's a confrontation between the two where Bruce actually grabs a shirt and jacks little Kennedy up. Now, how many times has old Ken in the back of his mind said, God damn it, I've been waiting for years to do this? Because it seemed awfully real, Ken. I gotta admit that. But I'm just teasing. Ken is a great father, and I have met Elias. I've met all of his family and kids. As it was, I actually played Santa for one of their annual Christmas parties. But that's not how I know them. And they're all great. They're all astonishing family. They all are. So anyhow, at the time, people are eating at the little cafe. They're drinking their drinks. They're bowling again. It's the last night that Terrace Lanes is going to be open. They're going to lock the doors forever, bulldoze it, probably turn it into a Starbucks and McDonald's because God forbid we don't have more of those fucking places in the world. Everybody's going about their day, their evening, they're bowling, they're having a good time, and all of a sudden you start hearing random beepings going out throughout the entire establishment. And all of a sudden you see all these people wearing baby blue sweatpants and hoodies with masks that they pull down over their face. They all look at their watches. Everyone's got an alarm. It is at that moment that the doors are then chained. Machetes are pulled out, crowbars, tire irons, massive size machine wrenches, and everybody that is not with them is against them. And it is time to get bludgeoned. Even the poor guy that was in the back wearing the damn bowling pin mascot outfit that was supposed to have been out front waving people in to draw more business is out back actually getting laid. He actually gets it. As a matter of fact, I think he's one of the first ones to get it after he just got it. Get it? So there's a lot of blood. There's some great death scenes. This is a horror comedy. Okay, so it's lightly done, but it really puts it in your face. Ken is very distraught. He's actually not in the main unit at that moment. It is actually in the office having a couple drinks because the boss called him in there because they saw him on video getting disgruntled with said Cody. So he's having a couple drinks. He's got some headphones on. He's jamming out. He's not looking at the video screen behind him that is showing all the cameras throughout of everybody getting thrown across the place, getting mass murdered, brutalized, slashed, everything. When he does turn around, however, he grabs the remote. I love this. He puts TV on, and there and behold is a scene from the scene that Ken happened to have been in Satanic Hispanics. Sorry, always backwards. Caught that. I love that. I really did. I think that was a great part. Now, everybody's getting brutally massacred in attempt to sacrifice them. And there is a limit. There's a countdown. So we have Ken. We have his daughter and his daughter's one girlfriend, co-host played by Mia Ray Roberts, are all hiding out. Well, Mia gets caught. Now it's up to daddy and daughter to reunite work together to save the world from doom and save themselves before time expires, going by the mathlete's impending time frame. Now, the leader of this said cult is played by Christopher Walker. Does a phenomenal job. As you know, I don't give any spoilers away. I'm not going to give the ending away. All I will say is that bowling definitely comes into play to help them try to survive the night. And there are some hysterical bowling songs. I don't know whether they were real or they were made up for the film, but they are hysterical and they are perfectly placed. Again, this is a light-hearted comedy horror, written by Adam Caesar, directed by friend also Jamie Nash, who I had the privilege of being on both sets of different sequences of a comedy of horrors that, thank you, Ken, extended an invite to myself to join them one day, as well as had my wife doing, hired on his hair and makeup for 3-4 of the segments of the film, as well as I was also very grateful to have originally first met them in person and be on the set of Night Watchman, which is one of my all-time favorite comedy horrors. So to Ken Arnold, Francesca Capaldi, great job in this film. The film is now available on Tubi for free. If you want to do the production company some justice, you can still go back to Prime. I think you can still pay for it. But regardless, definitely check it out. It is a fun movie. Teenage angst. Now, I'm not saying it is a kid's movie. Okay? There are situations. There is language. I didn't say it was a kid's movie. I said it was a teen movie. Okay? And if your teens are like mine, they talk worse than I do. So, fuck it. Let them watch it. It's a good movie. It's highly entertaining, and it's only about an hour and 15 minutes long. So if you get the second, sit down, watch the movie, enjoy it, support local and especially indie horror films, and definitely keep an eye out. Look on social media for my friend Ken Arnold. He's got a lot of great projects out there and a lot more coming out. I know they've definitely been pushing certain films that are going to hopefully be released soon that I have not seen. But with anyway, Last Night at Terrace Lanes, definitely check it out. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate your support. And as always, please hit the subscribe button down below. Find me on Roku channel. Download my app. It is for free. If you're not one to watch YouTube, you can watch it there while sitting on your couch. You can see me and my pretty face be that fucking big on your 65-foot flat screen TV. You can find me on all social media platforms, The Witching Hour Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, which is Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I even try to keep up with TikTok periodically. But with anything else, I will have more great shows, more great interviews coming up. I will have a new one released every Thursday for you guys, and movie reviews and news as needed as it happens. But until I talk to you guys again, please help support my true labor of love with the Witching Hour Podcast. And as always, remember to keep it evil.